part
Let's
of
all
any
make fun of
layer
Notre
of the
Dame.
game. So, Red Ball defaults to becoming a part of the stage, or camera, since it is the highest member of the aforementioned hierarchy. This is what causes Red Ball's position to now be set relative to the camera of the game. This is what allows for the death warp, as the dramatic change of coordinate system shifts the player's effective position very significantly. To apply our newfound knowledge to other levels, Sage had a genius idea. He figured out that by drawing a line between the origin of the level and the end flag, and then finding the midpoint, one could get a rough estimate for the spot that Red Ball would need to die at in order for a successful death warp. Another diagonal line would also need to be drawn from this midpoint to account for Red Ball not being positioned on the very top left corner of the camera, or its origin. Sage drew these lines on level 4, and it matched up flawlessly. Like a bunch of energetic toddlers, we began unboxing fresh packs of markers to draw all over each level in both Red Ball and Red Ball 2, in hopes of discovering new possible death warp spots. Unfortunately, we didn't end up finding anything new, though a checkpoint warp in level 7 and an end flag warp in level 8 of Red Ball 1 seemed close, neither ended up working out in practice. Thankfully, the death warp in Red Ball 2 lined up perfectly with our model, confirming that the mechanism behind it and the warp in level 4 of Red Ball 1 were exactly the same. So, there you have it. The how and why of Death Warp fully explained. A glitch confirmed to be present in the games Red Ball 2, and Grab. Unfortunately, we did confirm that the glitch was not present in Red Ball 3 and onward due to Red Ball being more properly destroyed upon death. But some more applications would eventually be found. Speedrunner XDXbox Jaja managed to save around a second in level 16 of Red Ball 2 with a death warp from the toxic water. And people managed to death warp in level 9 of Red Ball 1 using a pretty much task-only plunge version. But this one didn't end up saving any time. When DHA first shared the mysterious checkpoint warp in level 13 of Red Ball 2, we first wrote it off as some sort of flash jankiness, a mystery that we couldn't solve. However, when Yellow Skarmory posted his video of the first ever death warp in level 4 of Red Ball 1, and we connected the dots between the two occurrences, we knew that something else had to be going on. The Red Ball 2 death warp was extremely easy to perform on accident, and had certainly happened to casual players for over a decade. Now, 12 years after the game's release, we know exactly why. Currently, the level 4 record stands at a 9.129 by Dead Card, set on March 30th, 2021, with the run utilizing some very difficult jumps on the stairs in order to squeeze out some extra time. In full game runs of Red Ball, the 2 seconds that the death warp saved completely changed the quest for completing the game in under 3 minutes, with every run faster than Rare EG's former world record of 304.267 having made use of the strategy. So, that's everything. Yellow Skarmory was the first to perform the level 4 death warp, and a clear progression of the level 4 individual level world record followed thereafter. Right?
Level 4, here they come.
No! Oh my god, I lost so much time. That's like the entire
Did you hear
page.
that? In a video titled Red Ball, The Quest for Axe Perfection, speedrunner Insane Jetman outlined his
-1
conquest
at
to try to
most,
perfect the level 4 individual level speedrun, hoping to get a perfect beginning and back corner boost off of the falling platform. Jetman goes through an attempt that he unfortunately
That's so
killed by
bullshit.
accident by jumping into the first axe.
No, I thought that was it. Why did I jump again?
But what he didn't notice is
That
that
could
he
have
had
been
actually
739 BPT. I had
evidence
way
to perform
too
the
much
death
room
warp
to
in
gold in
December
11 if I just hit that
over
last
3
PJ.
months before Skarmory
I could have
posted the
potentially
video.
gotten
He had
it.
unwittingly achieved a time of 9.613, over 2 seconds faster than his goal of 11.710, a time which he ended up achieving and displaying at the end of his video. And scrolling below the video, you can see the following comment from Mario7829 posted when the video was released, which read, 607, that flag sound effect. Indeed, The level 4 death warp had been right under our noses the entire time. And if we had just paid a bit more attention, we could have figured out everything months earlier, which would have completely altered the world record progression of Red Ball that we see today. Many of the supposed level 4 individual level world records that were mentioned earlier in this video were never world records at all. Insane Jetman had accidentally gotten a 9.613 in December of 2020, a run which wasn't added to the leaderboards until April of 2021, when it was finally noticed that Jetman had actually completed the level via Death Warp.
That's so dumb.
The vast majority of accidental skip discoveries in speedrunning are noticed right away, as the player almost always sees that something unusual has happened. However, with the case of Insane Jetman, the effect of the glitch was so subtle that it was initially only noticed by just 1 out of the 1,500 people that saw the video. It was only until around 2 weeks after Death Warp had been figured out that people managed to connect the dots. If Yellow Skarmory hadn't posted his first Death Warp on March 25th, 2021, who knows how long it would have been before somebody actually investigated what happened in Jetman's video. The story of Death Warp is quite a curious one, both from a lore and technical standpoint. One that displays an important message to any speedrunner or glitch hunter. Every lead, no matter how small, should always be investigated. There's almost always some kind of robust, technical explanation that can be uncovered. Well, most of the time at least. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. I know that this possibly got a bit boring at times due to all of the technical stuff that had to be explained, but I still hope that you enjoyed watching. If you want to see how Death Warp impacted the quest for Sub 3 and Red Ball, make sure to watch my previous video. And make sure to get subscribed for future videos on the subject, because let's just say that things have gotten more interesting. Thanks again for watching, and have a great rest of your day.
Let's go! I did it! I did it!
I don't know what I'm doing.
Not quite. Essentially believed to be impossible to get the perfect frame rule on. In 4.2, you'd have to figure out a faster way to get Mario forward on the screen, combined with task-like movement in the warp zone. And in 8.2, you needed sheer perfection from start to finish.
Not quite.
Perfection that would even be harder than 8-1. 8.2 in particular was believed to be the hardest frame roll to save in the entire game. And it makes sense why. The frame roll had 0 frames to spare, and had several nearly impossible tricks throughout. A certain other speedrunning YouTuber even told 7.5 million people that the perfect...
I choked it to the last, PJ. I choked it to the last jump.
Fast acceleration.
No.
Jump with frame perfect
No.
and a frame perfect build glitch. It was believed that getting all these tricks in a row to save the frame roll on the last possible frame was humanly impossible. But it turns out, this belief was sort of untrue. For the simple reason that nobody had really tried to do it before. There was just a perception that they would all be too difficult for a human to chain together. That perception made sense, but by 2019, somebody decided they might as well try. And who better to do that than 420 Blaze? In July 2019, Blaze started to create a proof of concept for 18. He used the save state before the fast acceleration, a save state before the plant jump, and a save state before the bullet build glitch to try and see if he could save the frame rate. And it took him a lot of attempts, but with 3 save states to use, he was actually able to get it. There were a lot of frame perfect inputs, but practice eventually led to him getting them all. Blazeit mentioned that the plant jump in particular was incredibly hard, but with enough tries, he was even able to make it past that. So, once again, Blazeit had proven that a task frame roll could be saved. The misconception had been broken. The only thing left was somebody pulling it off in real time. Back in 2016, when the flagpole glitch setups were first discovered, the community looked toward the world record holder to pull them off first. By 2019, the record holder had changed, but the principle had stayed the same. The person who put attempts in to save the 8-2 frame rule was the best player the game had. The world record holder, Taven Webb.
It hurts so much. Oh